Plastic can be incredibly beautiful, especially when the edges are properly prepared. Edge treatments like these can actually be done in a home workshop. This video will show you how. We will look at the following edge treatments: simple flame polishing, polishing with a buffing wheel, scraped edges to make the material easier on the hands, beveled edges, and round-over edges. Let's start with polishing. When a piece of plastic comes out of the table saw, it has a saw-cut edge which looks like this. It is not particularly attractive. The edge can be polished with the use of a MAPP gas torch. Propane is not hot enough to do the job. MAPP gas can be purchased at most hardware stores. To polish the edge, hold the torch about 2 inches from the edge of the plastic and move it steadily along as you see here. If you move too quickly, the edge will not fully polish. If you move too slowly, the acrylic can actually catch fire. On thin material like this, flame polishing a saw-cut edge is usually adequate. Note that while flame polishing works well on acrylic, also known as plexiglass, it does not work well on most other plastics, as can be seen with this piece of polycarbonate. On thicker material, the polished saw-cut is more conspicuous and may not be acceptable. There are 2 solutions for this. One is to use a router on the edge. The router produces a much cleaner edge than the table saw. When this is flame polished, the appearance is much better. On pieces too thick to route, a random orbital sander with 320 grit paper can be used before polishing. After sanding, a flame is not the best polishing method. Use a buffing wheel. It can be a freestanding system like you see here, or even a buffing wheel on the end of a drill. Either way, the results can be stunning. One important point to mention here: once an edge has been polished, never try to glue it. Only glue non-polished edges. When acrylic cement contacts polished edges, it crazes the plastic, a condition that ruins the plastic and the appearance. Now let's talk about making the plastic easier to handle. When plastic comes out of the table saw, it has fairly sharp edge corners. If this piece is to be handled, such as this cutting board, it can be quite uncomfortable. The solution here is to use a tool like this called a scraper. It's designed for softening sharp edges. Place the scraper like this and drag it along the edge to remove just a bit of material. Sometimes something other than a square edge is desired. 2 options are a beveled or a bullnosed edge treatment. Both can be produced with an ordinary router. Using either of these bits, set the proper router height and then feed the plastic into the router against the direction of the spinning bit. After the piece is routed, you can flame polish for the final step. So whether you have one of our professional tap plastics fabricators do it for you, or whether you do it yourself, beautiful results are at your fingertips when using acrylic.
Tap Plastics, the fantastic plastic place.